Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we've got a little speed build and a makeover for Penny Pizzazz because she deserves so much more than what she was given for an apartment and her whole wardrobe basically. So yeah, let's give her the apartment and the wardrobe that she deserves. If you don't know who Penny Pizzazz is, she's one of the townies that came in the City Living expansion pack. So she's been in the game for quite a while now. Because that was one of the earlier expansion packs that came out in The Sims 4. She lives in the Chic Street apartment, so the kind of those high-rise, quite modern, they've got like the floor-to-ceiling windows, as you can see I'm putting in here. It's so good now that you can like actually change the windows in apartments. That is just like a complete game changer because there's so many apartments in The Sims where the windows are just placed in just odd places, and it's really hard to do a layout that actually makes sense when you're trying to like basically build with the restriction of the windows. But anyway, we don't need to think about that anymore because they have actually changed that. So yeah, I'm building Penny's living room right now. I thought we'd do a little kind of bookcase, I guess media unit you would call it. I just feel like it makes it look quite like cozy, especially with all the books. And I know it is The Sims and technically she doesn't need storage, but it adds a nice bit of storage. But anyway, I just wanted to say a little bit about Penny. I feel like we've all come across Penny in gameplay because even for me, I've not done a ton of gameplay in The Sims 4, but I always end up like becoming friends with Penny Pizzazz. Either that or she's my neighbour. And I feel like she's just always a nice sim to interact with. So that's why I thought she deserved a way nicer apartment, because the original one, it was like very open plan. It was like a studio because her bed was kind of in the main living area of the apartment. And I just feel like she needed like a properly laid out apartment, and like a proper space to work because she is quite high up in the social media career. So I thought she deserved her own little office and just a nice apartment in general. So yeah, I'm still just doing the living room here. As you can see, I've decided to go with like, well, right now you can only see I've kind of gone with the pink couch. But I did kind of go with this pink, purple, blue theme, which you'll start to see. Like you can see here, I've just put this blue rug down. Yeah, I feel like I love layering rugs as well. It makes it so cozy. But I also wanted it to still be like quite modern. And I feel like sometimes modern interiors can feel a bit cold, but I wanted it to be kind of still that like cozy, warm vibe, I guess. As you can see as well, I chose quite a dark wooden floor. This is just because I knew I was going to be using like a lot of colour, and I thought using like a darker wood tone on the floor just make it feel a little bit more like grounded or like sophisticated. I feel like if we went for like a light wood, it would have all just looked a bit like wishy-washy with all the colours, and it would have looked, I guess, like less mature, because Penny is an adult, or actually I'm not sure if she's an adult or a young adult, but either way she is an adult. So I feel like she deserves like, yeah, I guess more of like a sophisticated place to live really. But yeah, just a little bit more about Penny. Like I said, she's in the social media career. She's got skills in charisma, comedy, cooking and programming, which is good because I've given her quite a nice kitchen, so that makes sense with her cooking skill. And I feel like you can kind of get the vibe of like her charisma and her comedy skill through the fact that her apartment is quite bold and like has a lot of colour. I also based the colours that I've used in this apartment off her outfits. You'll see me do like a little speed through of the outfits that I've given her at the end. I actually did her like wardrobe makeover first, and I don't know why, but I felt like the colours of like the pink, the purple and the blue, I felt like they really suited her. So that was kind of what inspired this apartment, because I thought if she likes those colours, in her wardrobe, she's going to like them sort of in her space as well. So that's why I kind of gone for those colours in this. The one thing I will say though is that in a couple of her outfits I did use grey, and I'm not really sure why, because when I looked back at the footage I also gave her, you know how you can set likes and dislikes for colours. I said that she disliked the colour grey, and yet she is wearing grey in a few outfits, so that was a mistake on my part. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, we're just doing the kitchen here. Even though it is a really small apartment, I've still managed to fit a decent sized kitchen in here. I feel like the smallest room in here is the living room, but I didn't really feel like it needed to be any bigger than it is. Like, she is just going to sit there and probably watch TV or read a book or something. And I feel like it makes it just feel cozy. That was like the main thing that I was going for with this build, was to just feel like nice and cozy. So yeah, still faffing about with the living room. I think I'm just picking out some lights here. Yeah, I decided to go with like this soft yellow colour. Well, I guess it's more of like a cream on the walls, and I did that little pop of yellow with the bar stools. I think there's also a little pop of yellow in either a blanket or a cushion on the couch. I think that is what actually inspired the bar stools. Oh, something that I've not actually said yet is I actually built this apartment like quite a few weeks ago now. And so this is actually me rebuilding it from pictures that I took, because basically I didn't think that I was able to screen record as I was building, because my laptop is not the best. It's not really made for gaming. I have like a MacBook, and it would just go so slow when I started to try and screen record. So I didn't think I would be able to actually screen record anything. But basically I figured out how to. So I just bulldozed the whole apartment, and this is actually me rebuilding it. So it probably took me a little bit longer when I was actually doing it in real time. Originally, my plan was to make like a stop motion video of this apartment, which is why I didn't originally record it. But I've never actually made a stop motion Sims video before, so that would have been like a bit of a learning curve. I did watch like tutorials on how to do it and stuff, but yeah, I'm glad I worked out how the screen recording works and like how I can actually do it on my laptop, because this is so much easier to do. And I do also much prefer watching a speed build over like a stop motion video on YouTube. I just think it's more satisfying to kind of watch somebody's process and how they actually build in The Sims. Because yeah, I feel like when you watch speed builds, people build so differently. So yeah, it's just nice to see like the whole process, and like, I don't know, like I guess seeing somebody struggle as well, like when they're picking things out and then they delete things. I feel like it just makes it more realistic. But yeah, I'm just doing her bedroom here. This is the only thing that I think maybe isn't as cohesive with the rest of the apartment. Don't get me wrong, I still think it is. But looking back, I'm not in love with the colour of the walls. I did actually go back into this after I'd recorded the speed build, and I painted the walls the same pink as what's in the living room, and I did think it looked so much better. But when I did that, it deleted a load of like various objects that I'd placed with the move objects cheat. So, and I tried for about half an hour trying to like paint the walls without having these objects delete. In reality, I probably just could have painted the walls and put the objects back, but apparently I felt too lazy to do that. But yeah, maybe if you wanted to like do a similar sort of way of decorating in a build of your own, maybe you would want to paint the walls pink, because it looked more cohesive with the rest of the apartment basically. So yeah, I'm not really sure why I did that. Well, I know it's obviously because she has like this blue as part of the colour palette, but I feel like it was just maybe a bit too dark. Yeah, so we're just finishing the bedroom. Yeah, I'm just picking out a rug. I think I still need to put the curtains up in here. Oh, I'm doing it now. So yeah, and I'm about to go and do the office next. Now that is something that I did completely change from the way I originally built it. It was just totally different the first time I built it, and when I looked back at the pictures, it really did not go with the rest of the apartment. It was mostly just like pink and cream, which are definitely colours that I have used in this apartment, but for some reason it just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't look cohesive enough. Yeah, I think this second time around of me decorating the office, it definitely looks, yeah, it blends in a lot more with the rest of the apartment. I think just because it actually has the same colour scheme of like the pink, purple, blue. But yeah, I have no idea what I was thinking the first time I built this. It was just, yeah. And you know what? I feel like this came together really quickly as well. So, do you know what? I am glad that I worked out how to record. But yeah, I feel like she needed like a nice little aesthetic office, because she is quite high up in the social media career. And in fairness, I feel like because of how high up she is in her career, I would have thought she would have lived in maybe a bigger apartment. So maybe that's what we can build next, like maybe one of the penthouses, because I feel like she seems like quite a famous sim because she's on like billboards and stuff. So yeah, maybe she deserves a penthouse actually. Maybe this is not what Penny Pizzazz deserves. But yeah, we're getting quite close to the end now. I'm just picking out the last bits of decorations. Oh yeah, I did actually give her a cat because I just feel like, I don't know, she gives like cat owner vibes. I did actually forget to place a litter box in the speed build, but I did go and add one later on. But yeah, and then I just gave her a little clothing rack and stuff with some lights behind, because I thought maybe if she was ever recording anything, that would be like her cute little background. And I'm just picking out the rest of the stuff in her hallway. I think I just do like a little rug, and I think it's like a little tapestry or something that I chose. But yeah, this is pretty much it for the speed build. You'll see me kind of go through her look and outfits before, and then what I've chosen after. I feel like her before outfits, they were just very like, I mean, maybe it is because the expansion came out quite a while ago now, but they just seemed a little bit dated, her outfit. So we've sort of modernised her a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's still not like super like on trend or anything, but I feel like she's just got a more timeless style right now. Like, look, as you can see, like they were quite bright colours, and I feel like it wasn't her ideal colour palette. So I've gone with, like, as you can see now, like a little bit, I mean, it is still colourful, but it's just like softer colours, and I feel like it just complements her more, and it just feels a bit more sophisticated. And then you'll see her cat here in a minute too. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.